What's going on? I don't know about you guys, but my childhood was exclusively Minecraft and nothing else. I mean, back in 2012 to 2013, everything was Minecraft. What's down the bottom corner of my screen? Boom, let's play. Wanna jam out to some awesome tunes? Bam, here's some parodies. Wanna watch some kid explain why he was banned from a server lobby? Probably not, but here you go anyways. It's clear that Minecraft had a really big influence on pretty much everyone, and to say the game was a dominant force on YouTube is a massive understatement. So when I heard that Mojang, the game developers that literally built my childhood, were making a new game with the Minecraft IP, I may or may not have been a little jazzed. Now, we all know Mojang has a pretty diverse portfolio of video games, like Minecraft Earth, Minecraft Story Mode, Minecraft Education Edition, and finally their magnum opus, 0x Tendency. So yeah, I won't lie, I was pretty hyped about this new game. Well, at least until I heard that it was gonna be a dungeon crawler. Don't get me wrong. I love to watch me some dungeon crawler and roguelike gameplay, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit worried about dungeons given my experiences with games of the genre. To summarize my skill level when it comes to games such as The Binding of Isaac Rebirth or Enter the Gungeon, I'm like this guy. Nonetheless, I still picked up the game and quite honestly enjoyed it. So let's dig in and see what this game has to offer. Get it? Like dig? Cause Minecraft? To start off, let's talk about story, because that's what we bought Minecraft for! Dungeons basically takes place in the world of one of those 2010 Minecraft music videos. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm pretty sure the level High Block Halls is the same castle from the Fallen Kingdom video. Anyways, the plot revolves around this midget Squidward creature, Squidget if you will. Now, Squidget is having a rough time as he's being bullied by the normal Squidwards because he's too short. Story of my life. So now Squidget has to find a new home, and along his journey he meets a bunch of villagers, or Schooly Fancy Sons if you want to continue this weird and random SpongeBob analogy. He wants to live with them, but they think Squidget's a freak, and not in that way weirdo, okay? He's just very angry. He continues his journey, and as he does so, Squidget finds the Orb of Dominance. Yes, this is an orb, okay? Stop complaining. You can't break the rules of Minecraft! Anyhow, the orb makes Squidget cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and he enacts his revenge on anyone who ignored him. With this newfound power, Squidget attacks all the villages and starts a mass genocide. Wait, what? Why can't we say that? What do you mean genocide's too violent? Okay, Karen, fine. Go back. Okay, so minor correction, Squidget makes all the villagers go to sleep, which is something I personally can't seem to get these days. With his new reign of chaos, the world needs a hero to put an end to Squidget's madness. And if you thought I was implying you kill him, let me remind you that this is just a kid's game, and we cannot promote such violence because we do not want Karen to come knocking on our door with the 56-page thesis explaining why video games are violent. Okay, so on that note, once the hero defeats Squidget, they become friends and start doing Ninja's pom-pom dance. So yeah, that's the story. If you were expecting some Naughty Dog level or even a Minecraft story mode type of narrative from Dungeons, I don't really know what to tell you except that it's way better. You're such a good game. I love it. Your boyfriend is a gamer. Make love it. Let me just preface this portion of the video by saying, I have no idea what constitutes as good game design. In all my years on this planet we call Earth, my two most played games on Steam are Clicker Heroes and Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. So, you know, I'm probably the least qualified person to discuss what makes a good game. So with that said, let's talk about what makes Minecraft Dungeons so good through a pros and cons list because I'm lazy as flip and was supposed to finish this video like a week and a half ago. Okay, so let's get right into the pros. The first one up is procedural generation. Just like Minecraft, most of the levels in dungeons are procedurally generated, meaning that there's a combination of assets made by humans and assets randomly generated by your potato PC. So in other words, procedural generation is basically a cyborg, you know, like half human and half computer. So you're probably sitting there wondering, what does this mean in terms of the game? Or maybe not, I don't know. I don't do telekinesis, but you know what I will do? I'm gonna answer that question for you anyways. The game being procedurally generated basically means that each room is filled with a random amount of monsters, traps, treasure chests, and loot, resulting in an engaging and new experience every time you play a level. Nice. So next up on the pros list, we got loot. As you probably expect from a dungeon crawler, the game is heavily loot oriented. You see those antique vases over there that are possibly historical artifacts? Why don't you just pull a Hulk real quick and treat yourself to some of those? You see that pig over there with that chest strapped on his back? I mean, I don't know how he got that there, but he has no business hiding all that loot from you, you know what I'm saying? The game encourages the player to constantly switch out their gear to increase their power levels until
it's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
additional original content. So if you're a vanilla Minecraft veteran, you've probably experienced this a couple times. Now imagine after a rough night of fighting monsters, you wake up the next morning to a flippin' rave of zombies and skeletons. So yeah, Dungeons is a bit more intense when it comes to fighting mobs since they added so many new ones. To recap, we got Keegan-Michael Key, Ham from Toy Story, Dumbledore, Carl Fredricksen, that voodoo guy from Princess and the Frog, Raven, a knight from the Crusades, Slime ASMR videos, Super Meat Boy, the skeletons from Spy Kids 2, the Grim Reaper, Optimus Prime, Thunderbolt Ross, and finally, and probably most importantly, Squidget. So checkmate Minecraft, you're like a little baby compared to Dungeons. I mean, what else do you have? Mod packs? Come on, please. Oh. Actually, that is pretty scary. Oh, man. Music. I mean, yeah, Dungeon's soundtrack is alright. It does its job and adds to the overall ambience of each room, but it's no Uncharted 4 OST or Minecraft for that matter. I mean, let's be real. When C418 Sweden or Wet Hands comes on, it just hits differently, my guy. Like, my nostalgia levels are through the roof, and I'm back in 2013 reliving the times I stayed up till 4 AM playing Minecraft before my mom busted into my room and beat my ass. Visuals. Let me just summarize this in 2 pictures. Okay, that's enough positivity. Let's talk about cons. Difficulty scaling. Dungeons difficulty scaling is honestly pretty jank. There's times when it feels like I'm playing Animal Crossing where I'm just listening to some relaxing tunes while I hit enemies with my fishing rod, and then boom, we're now playing Dark Souls, baby! Hold on to your gluteus maximus because butt whooping's on the menu tonight! So yeah, the game lacks balance as there's essentially nothing in between easy and hard. No pause function. When you go into the pause menu, the game continues in the background. So if you're being attacked by hostile mobs, you still get damaged. In all honesty, this is kind of a nitpick as it's not that hard to bypass. You just have to get through an area where there's no enemies around. But I'm just saying, there are those times where you have to skedaddle because your mom just finished microwaving your kid cuisine meal. And in those cases, I'm sorry, but you just gotta pray to Jesus at that point. Story. Just like Telltale Games, it's non-existent. DLC. Well, you already know why. I mean, it's not as bad as some other game franchises. But still, Minecraft Dungeons is rather short to begin with. I understand that the development team needs time to create something that isn't utter trash and how that can result in DLC being added after the release date, but paying an extra $10 for additional content that you can't access right away just takes away from the gaming experience in my opinion. If you disagree, feel free to tell me why in the comments below. Or don't, and let me think I'm right for once in my life. Network issues. For a game that was advertised as better with friends, the network servers were pretty bad, at least for the first couple days when I played.
What?
I'll give the game some credit though. It worked half the time, but during the other half, the network servers were just like, how about no? And kicked me out of my friend's game. But hey, Minecraft Dungeons still slaps when you're playing by yourself. All in all, Minecraft Dungeons is a pretty fun game, and if you're in the mood for some dungeon crawler action, I think it's worth the purchase. You know, go out there and have some fun playing with your friends. Or don't, I don't know. I talk to my stuffed Jeffrey the Giraffe plushie at night, so you probably shouldn't take friendship advice from me. I give the game a solid 4 orbs that are pretending to be orbs but really are just confused cubes out of 5.